Hello beautiful souls and welcome to my channel Roseology. So today's video we are looking into your spiritual gifts and which of them are the strongest. So I'm going to be touching on a lot of spiritual abilities that you may have, whatever your guides and ancestors sort of tell me I'm going to be touching on. So there may be some random gifts and messages in here. There may be some gifts that you were unaware of or are very familiar with. I'm also going to be reading into what habits and practices that you have that weaken or strengthen your spiritual gifts. So I believe we're all spiritually connected and gifted, but some of us deny these abilities. And I see spiritual gifts as a muscle almost that has to be exercised regularly. So like I said, I don't think we can ever lose our gift because it comes from the universe, and the universe does not take. But I do think that the strength of our abilities depends on how often we work them out or work with them, exercise them. Okay, so yeah, let's just go ahead and jump straight into this. Let's get to the disclaimer. So tarot, or at least my readings, are not meant to tell you anything that you do not know, as much as they are here to confirm the things that you do know but have forgotten. So if something does not resonate, then either that part of the message isn't meant for you, or you might not be ready to hear it. Tarot is going to reveal truths about our energetic frequencies, and we have to be ready and willing to hear those truths in order for these messages to resonate. Okay, so take what resonates and obviously leave the rest. For those of you that want to participate in this meditation, let me just say, like I always do, that this is a general reading for the collective. So in order for this reading to resonate with you, you need to be synced into the energy of this reading. To help you do that and to help you select a pile with your third eye and not your physical ones, I'll be offering a 60-second meditation. 30 seconds into that meditation, I'll be placing crystals for those that like to pick piles with objects on them. If you are drawn to another pile, it's because there is another message for you in that pile. So if you are ready, get into a relaxed position, become aware of your entire body, starting with your feet. Work that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Then take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds. Hold that breath for 3 seconds. Then exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Then ask your guides, spirit, ancestors, the universe, or all of them to connect you to your higher self so you can get the 411 on your spiritual gifts and abilities. Okay, so this is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. And we'll start that meditation right now. All right, and here on pile number 1, we have a agate, and I'm not sure exactly which agate this is. It kind of looks to be like a blue lace agate, but yeah, this is what we have on pile number 1. On pile number 2, we have an apophyllite cluster. On pile number 3, we have a smoky quartz cluster. And on pile number 4, we have labradorite. All right, hopefully that meditation and sound selection was enough time for you to pick a pile and tap into your own psychic awareness. I want to take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self and beautiful spirit for these messages. Now let's see which of your magical abilities is your strongest, and I will meet you over at your pile. All right, in pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So you guys chose the agate, and I am not sure, I apologize, because I don't know which agate this is. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It looks kind of similar to like a blue lace agate, but I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, either which way, agates are known as stones that are linked to harmony and balance, as well as health as well. And so, a lot of people carry it to help keep them calm, because agates are very well known to help calm the person that is wearing or carrying the stone. So, if you suffer from anxiety, excessive worry, things like that, or if you need a stone that is going to provide some sort of strength and resilience and confidence, and agates are really good for this. So it just kind of really promotes like an overall state of well-being. So yeah, pretty interesting. We're going to see how maybe the stone ties into your reading. So we're going to be starting off first with your tarot cards before getting to your oracle cards to see your strongest magical abilities. But I do believe that in some way, shape, or form that this stone is probably tied into your abilities. So yeah, let's just go on ahead and check out your cards. So these 2 cards right here will be showing me exactly what your strongest spiritual gifts are. This card right here will be showing me how you weaken those gifts, different habits, things that you may do, patterns that you may be in, maybe how they negatively impact your gifts. And then this card all the way over here to the right will be showing me how you strengthen your gifts, what sort of habits and practices and routines it is that you do or partake in that actually strengthen your gifts. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Check out these first 2 cards. And the very first card that we have here is the Empress in reverse and the 7 of Wands in reverse. Okay. So I'm not trying to freak you out, pile 1, but I have a couple of questions for you. 1, have you ever seen negative entities? Matter as a fact, this is you being able to detect them or feel them in a room or maybe on someone's presence. I'm sensing that you're very good at detecting negative energy, negative entities, and or people. As well as what I'm also picking up here too is a bit of uncrossing. You're very gifted at being able to uncross, unhex, or uncurse, road clearing, things like that. You're very good at being able to remove negative energy from yourself and other people. Any sort of negative energy that has been placed there, maybe directly or indirectly, whatever the case, I'm picking that up very, very strongly right away. And I say this because the Empress is the card of comfort and abundance. Now, in reverse, the Empress is disturbed and she is not giving life, but she's actually taking it. 7 of Wands is the card of havoc and disruption. In reverse, 7 of Wands brings exhaustion. So there's a blatant theme here of deficiency, being depleted. And when we deal with energies that consume or take or drain life force energy, this is a parasitic entity that we are now talking about. So you may have grown up religious or be very religious now. There's a lot of prayer around you because let me explain it like this. You have a very strong presence. It's like a prayer warrior or something like that I'm picking up. And people with a strong presence are like a lighthouse, just emitting energy. But everything sees your light in the spiritual realm. Prayer is something that is extremely powerful for my pile 1s. And you don't have to relate prayer back to religion. Prayer is intentional communication or invocation to something else, to some sort of other energy. That's all it is. So when you pray or speak words of intent, words of power, you inject power into them and things start happening. They start moving. You have a gift of being able to detect what's draining the life or energy of people, animals, plants, spaces, rooms. You can also feel other people's bodies. So let's say, for instance, that like you pick up a friend to go out for dinner, and the second that they get in your car, you instantly get a headache, and come to find out that they had just took some pain medication that morning for like a migraine. So I'm picking up that you have empathic abilities, but when it comes to physical sensations, you can physically feel what someone else is feeling in their body. Now, your biggest spiritual gift that I'm picking up, pile one, is your ability to undo or unmake energy, to reroute or redirect it. In other words, you're extremely powerful and gifted, like I said earlier, at uncrossing, uncursing, unhexing, undoing negative energy, as well as road clearing. Basically, what this is removing dense energy from situations that have kept people from progressing, moving forward, or from receiving their blessings. So this is really, really powerful, pile one. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I'm picking up anything else. As well as you may get sort of prophetic sort of visuals, dreams of things that are about to happen to people. So like you might be able to see like, oh, you're totally about to get pregnant, or you're about to get a car, or you're about to get that job. It's like you may see things that are happening in someone else's near future, or even in your own. I'm getting a very strong sensation of that as well that just came through. It was like your ancestors, your angels, they really needed me to say that. Yeah, okay. Let's go on ahead and look at this card here to see how your spiritual gifts could be weakened by different practices and habits and things like that. And so we have here the Page of Wands in reverse. Okay. So like I said in the intro, in case you didn't hear it, I do not believe that we can lose our gifts, but I do believe that we can weaken them, because I look at spiritual gifts as like a muscle. It's something that you have to exercise. It's something that you have to work out and work at in order to strengthen it. But as well as, if you're not using that muscle or flexing that muscle, you can definitely, it can definitely sort of lose its elasticity, or it can lose its, power or strength in a sense. What I'm seeing here with the Page of Wands in reverse, pile one, is you weaken your gifts by fearing them. Page of Wands is a student of imagination and vision. He is learning how to wield his power. So in reverse, he has fallen out of that frequency by doubting his abilities, and he only starts to doubt himself when he's not applying anything that he has learned. So many of my pile ones have had experiences concentrated around your gifts, and it was just a matter of being present during these experiences so you can soak up all the knowledge that you're gaining. When you forget where you come from, what you have survived, what you have been through, you don't lose your power, you get separated from it, and doubt starts to set in. You've experienced so many synchronicities. Your abilities have proven themselves to you time and time again. When you forget about those moments of confirmation, the power from your gifts, they start to get drained, like we were talking about with the Empress in reverse right here, as well as not listening to your energy. Do you go in a hermit mode sometimes? Pile one, where you just kind of don't want to be around people. You don't want to answer your phone. You may flake out on invites some of the time. You might really like your alone time, but that's a really good thing though. Sometimes your energy will ask you to stay in, and other times it'll ask you to go out. But this is all for a divine reason, so definitely listen to that. As well as, like I said, you may pick up, that's why I was picking up that you may get prophetic visuals, dreams, messages of things that are about to occur in your life or in someone else's. So yeah, for sure, you kind of weaken your gifts when you don't take them seriously, or when you don't listen to those messages that are coming through to you, when you don't receive those downloads that are coming through to you. That's when you start to kind of get separated or lost from your gift, because it's like these things are coming to you as a way to sort of warn you or prepare you for the future, or to warn or prepare someone else for their future. But the thing is like when you don't take it seriously, when you don't pass that message on, or when you don't accept that message for yourself, you kind of lose the sense that, like, because these messages are not coming to you just to warn you about the future. They're also coming to you so that the way your higher self can prove to you how tapped in you are to this sort of unconscious mindset. So this collective unconsciousness that we all share, your higher self has been trying to show you for a very long time that you're very plugged in, you're very connected. So anytime that you're not actually taking stock of these downloads that you're getting, anytime that you're not taking them seriously, you sort of weaken that gift. Because it's like this is coming through is not just for a warning, but like I said, also confirmation. Something is trying to prove to you that yes, you're gifted. Take this seriously. Take yourself seriously. You are gifted. Okay. And all your cards so far are in reverse. Let's look at how you strengthen your gifts. And so we have here Queen of Cups, finally a card that is upright. So, okay. Water is very healing for you. Spiritual baths, pile one, going to a lake or a beach, staying hydrated are all ways for you to strengthen your gift. You have empathic abilities as well, like what I was talking about earlier, which means that you're very fluid, lucid, like water in a sense. For some people, fire is their life force energy. For others, it's the element of earth or something solid. For others, it's the element of air. For you, it is water. That's where your abilities really lie at, as well as regularly cleansing out your own emotions, cleansing out your own space. When you feel like you have a very organized home, it helps to strengthen your abilities. You are like the Empress, pile one. The Empress is the divine feminine. And when we deal with the divine feminine, we're dealing with the womb or capacity or space that is able to hold a lot. The divine feminine is all about receiving. So it's very important for my pile ones to regularly cleanse yourself of all the energies that you pick up, because you're not just picking up these energies, you're also holding on to them. You need to be able to walk away from that conversation or that person or that experience or that day and leave that energy right where you found it, so you can live your life unobscured and uninterrupted by other outside forces and outside influences and outside energies. As well as you strengthen your gifts by practicing them, by engaging them, keeping a dream journal, keeping some sort of a journal where you are writing out your different experiences. Even if you just make sort of like an email address for yourself, like a private email address where you can sort of like text things to yourself, email things to yourself, different experiences. You really sort of documenting your experiences is another thing that really helps to strengthen your gifts, as well as even talking about them with like-minded people. With this Queen of Cups right here, you talking about your gifts with like-minded people is also another way that you can really help strengthen your gifts, because like I said, this is all about you connecting to it in a way where you feel confidently, where you feel assured with your gifts and with your abilities. That's what really strengthens it, and that's what really sort of determines how strong this ability and gift is for you. So definitely talking to like-minded people, documenting your journey, sort of writing things out in like a journal, a diary, whatever it is that you want to consider it, as well as too practicing, really experimenting. With this Queen of Cups, I'm getting a lot of experimentation. Practice and experiment with your gifts. So like maybe before you fall asleep at night, say to yourself, like, I want to get in touch with this particular energy. I want to answer for this particular experience or situation, and watch the answers that you receive. Like I said, a lot of this has to do with confirming things to you, confirming to you that you are in fact incredibly gifted. So that's where a lot of your gifts and your talents lie. Okay, let's go ahead and check out you guys' oracle cards to see if there's any sort of additional gifts that I may have missed, any sort of additional messages. So the very first card that we have here is Shaddai. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Fragmented. Then we have here Lady de los Muertos, and this is acceptance and equality. Then we have joy, rejoicing in the present. Then we have fire element, desire. Second house, owning. Then we have the card here at love. And forgiveness. Okay. Yeah, love and forgiveness is definitely tapping into that divine feminine Empress card energy right here. Let's start off with fire element, desire, and second house, owning over here. So, as well as even joy and rejoicing in the present moment, this card here, this is basically exactly what I was talking about earlier, about how you guys are gifted at clearing roads that have been congested with dense or negative energy. That's the way you can move forward, progress, and claim material blessings with the second house owning card right here. Fragmented is telling me as well that you are gifted at repairing people, repairing energy that has been separated from itself. So it's weakened because it's been separated from itself. You help refocus or rescue. That's the word that I'm looking for. It's like you rescue energy so that it feels whole and not fractured like this. Then we have love and forgiveness. So did you guys see that? Like I was kind of talking about earlier, this is how you undo energy, pile one, through forgiveness and love. This is how you reorient other people around you as well, by healing their heart, which has been fragmented by different life experiences. Maybe you have gone through a similar life experience where it's like you were so hurt that you felt fractured, you felt fragmented, you felt separated from yourself. You were really here as like a light worker. I've been trying to stay away from that because it's such a broad term, and I want to get more into like the details with this reading here. But yeah, it's like you're like a light worker. It's like you're somebody that's here solely to rescue energy, to rescue energy from itself. So yeah, this is really how you undo a lot of that dense negative energy, is through love and forgiveness, by keeping your frequency high. Many of my pile ones, I bet many of my pile ones have been tasked with having to forgive serious offenses in their life. And so many times where for you it felt like, that's not fair. Why do I have to forgive? I didn't start this shit. I didn't do this. I didn't make this happen. But this has honestly been a part of your life's journey for you to tap into your own power. And it's interesting too, with the Queen of Cups right here, I was picking up a little bit of energy or a little bit of action in your heart chakra. And then we have the love and forgiveness card that came out. So this is all about for you keeping your heart chakra clear, because you work through your heart chakra. Your gifts work through. Also have a lot of crown, third eye chakra energy happening within you as well. But for sure, a lot comes through. You channel a lot through your heart chakra. So it's really important for you to keep your heart chakra as open and as clear as possible. And so, yeah, when someone is unable to forgive, it's because they can't move on from what happened. And because time keeps moving on, that means that there's a part of that person that's left behind in a certain situation, memory, or trauma. And that is the parasitic energy that you are gifted at undoing, pile one, so that energy doesn't have to deplete to survive. It's like, imagine poking a hole in a balloon, or the bottom of like a cup that's filled with water. It's like the structural integrity of this thing is compromised. And so what happens is there starts to be a drain. Either there starts to be a drain or things start coming in. And our aura is a lot like a balloon. It insulates us from outside energies and frequencies. So that the way we can maintain our own universe, basically. That the way we can maintain our own kind of house when it comes to energy and frequency. That the way our frequency isn't always being manipulated and influenced. So when we're dealing with a hole or a puncture in that balloon or in that auric shield, in that auric field, we're dealing with an aura that has been compromised. And that is what a lot of your gifts have to deal with, pile one. Depleted energy, when you, like I was saying, when there's a puncture in that balloon, that energy is being influenced. And there's a huge possibility of that energy being depleted. And depleted energy has to deplete another source of energy to survive, because it's fragmented. But when those fractures are healed, that energy is able to sustain itself. So you've got a lot of gifts here that are mostly centered around undoing energy, unmaking fractures, and rescuing energy from itself. Because if there is some sort of a depletion, think about it. If there is a hole at the bottom of a cup, don't you have to keep filling it with water in order to sort of replace what that hole is taking? So that's exactly what happens when there is some sort of a puncture or a hole in our auric field. We have to keep drawing energy from somewhere else in order for us to maintain and sustain the inside of our aura. And that is what makes energy parasitic. There's a lot of human beings walking around as parasites, whether they are meaning to or not. They're draining other people because their aura is so fragmented. So a lot of your gifts, pile one, has to do with rescuing energy and repairing fragmented and fractured people, fragmented and fractured souls, okay? And actually, before I close out your reading, I'm just going to shuffle from this life purpose oracle card guidebook just to see, or oracle card deck, just to see if there's any sort of directions that you guys should be focused on or heading in terms of your life's purpose. So let's see what we get for my pile ones. We have builder. Your innate ability to build and create brings you a deep sense of accomplishment. Builder, almost as in a sense too, like building people back up. Repairing, like I said, there's a lot of repairing energy here. Let's see what else we get. We also have travel. Your life purpose involves traveling. And then we have family. Guys, I'm sorry, my nails can't pick it up. These claws. Okay. And then we have family. Loving your friends and family is central to your life purpose. Like it says down here, love and forgiveness. So for some of you, it may be forgiving your family. Let's just get a couple more. Next one that we have is writing. You heal, inspire, teach, and entertain with the words that you write. I told you guys, keep a journal, keep something like that where it's like you can kind of document your different life experiences. Let's get one more. Let's see. Oh, two more came out. Okay, we also have flowers. Yeah, working with flowers opens your heart and brings blessings to others through your life purpose. Oh, three more had fallen out. Then we have environmentalists, kind of like the flowers card over here. You are an earth angel who was born to protect, nurture, and teach about nature and the animals. Yeah. And then we have career change. You're embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance you desire and deserve. Okay. Underneath the deck, we have nutrition. You conduct healing work with your culinary skills as well. Yeah. So make sure that when you guys are cooking that you are putting intention into what it is that you're cooking, because a lot of things that we cook with, I mean, it goes right into our body. So, definitely put some intention into cooking if you love to cook. I love to cook. I cook almost every day when I have the energy to. And so it's really fun for me to kind of say words of power over my food, because I'm going to consume it. It's going to go right into my body, and I want it to nourish my body. I want it to strengthen me and my frequency. So yeah, definitely, that can be something that you sort of implement into your routine as well. So this is all that I'm saying for my pile ones. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I do pray this reading brought you guys love, support, clarity, and strength. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, and pile number 2, you guys chose the apophyllite crystal. Very, very, very unique shape to it. So these are very interesting crystals that they're known to harness the power of lava. And so basically these are very high vibrational stones, and they're very, very, very helpful and useful for those that are dealing with anxiety, stress, those that are dealing with anxiety disorders as well in times of very high stress sort of situations. Apophyllite is known to be a very powerful but gentle stone that helps sort of soothe any sort of anxiety or mental distress, things like that. So this is a very, crown-centered, brain, mind-centered, psyche, consciousness-centered stone that helps a lot with soothing, like I said, really distressful times. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be starting off your tarot cards before getting to your oracle cards to see what your strongest spiritual gifts are. And I have a feeling that somehow the stone is going to be tied into it in some way, shape, or form, but we'll definitely take a look here. But yeah, so these first 2 tarot cards right here are going to be showing me what it is that your strongest gifts are. This card in the middle right here will be showing me what sort of habits or daily practices, things that you do that may weaken your gift. And then these 2 cards over here will be showing me exactly how you strengthen those gifts. Okay, so yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So the very first 2 cards that we have here is the Sun in reverse and the Moon upright. So, pile two, you have the sight. You're able to see beyond people's egos and straight into the depths of their soul. The way a mother sort of knows her child, a mom knows her child differently than the world knows them. And that's what I'm seeing here. The sun represents our ego, the way we identify or see ourselves, right? And this is the surface level self when we're dealing with the ego, when we're dealing with the sun. And it's in reverse, meaning that you see straight through that or straight past it. The moon represents a person's soul or most internal instinctive self. This is our most instinctive nature in a sense. So it's kind of like, it kind of rules the wild parts of us, the way like an animal is very, they're just very true to their nature. So the moon rules how true we are to our nature, basically. And, we have this card upright. So you see past the mask of a person or a situation. In other words, you can see past what people want you to see, and you see their essence or their truth. Another gift you have is this amazing ability to shapeshift, but in a sense where you can blend into many different environments like a chameleon. And this is another thing that helps you get a good read on people and situations, is the fact that you break those surface layer walls down. You make people feel comfortable enough to reveal themselves. You also, as well, let me say this, I'm getting so much here, but you also have a way of seeing the shadow, going beyond that mask again. So you may be a Scorpio or have a lot of Scorpio energy, 8th house energy, Pluto, Mars energy, or aspects in your chart, as well as Capricorn, Gemini, and Aquarius energy. I'm picking up as well. Let's even throw Libra in there. I'm picking up a lot of air energy. Yeah, that, like I was saying with this stone, there's a lot of kind of air, head, conscious psyche energy here with this stone, and I'm picking that up. I'm picking up all the air signs, but as well I'm picking up Capricorn and Scorpio. So you may be quite drawn as well to the darker sides of life and reality. And when I say darkness, I'm not talking about evil. I am never talking about or associating myself with evil, okay? But darkness is the womb. Darkness is the divine feminine. It is the intuition. It is like the moon. The moon comes out at night, right? The moon's not evil. It's just that there's a different world when it comes to the nighttime versus the daytime. Just like there's a different world when you go underwater, right? Or up high into the air, or into the sky, into space. There's just different worlds. So darkness is the womb. It's the intuition. It's the divine feminine. This is the place that we go to create and imagine and dream up different things. And so you aren't as scared off of these things as most people are, is what I'm really picking up with my pile twos. You may love true crime documentaries, unsolved mysteries, diving into the occult or paranormal. You get a boost of energy at night as well, pile two. Energy may get very active around you at night as well. You may hear little knocks, cracks, little sounds and noises at night, things like that. I'm picking up that it really picks up a lot for very many of you at night. And you are a clairaudient as well, because I'm hearing a conversation. So you may also hear conversations or people talking to you in your sleep. So your clairaudience, if you have it, it really comes out at night. I would say your strongest gift, pile two, is the ability to recognize the shadow and to bring awareness to it, to bring some light to it, to sort of convert it into the light, to get others closer to their shadow in a sense where they don't fear parts of themselves anymore. You may have well went on a journey. Sagittarius just came through. I literally just heard something say Sagittarius. That was funny. So you may also have Sagittarius energy in your chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or some other placements, or 9th house energy, Jupiter energy. Jupiter may be in your 1st house, something like that, 4th house. But yeah, you as well may have went on a journey that got you very close to your shadow, pile two, where you have a different understanding of it. You see it, you have a different perspective of it. You see the shadow through the eyes of this mothering figure that wants to bring as much respect, adoration, understanding, and acknowledgement to the shadow. You know that saying, like a face only a mother could love, or like if you guys have ever seen Game of Thrones, like I used to love that show, but if you guys have ever seen Game of Thrones, you know how she had so many different names, but Daenerys or Khaleesi, how she loved those dragons. Those dragons to her were like her babies, but to the rest of the world, these were like terrifying, horrible, fire breathing, killing machines, but to her, these were her sweet little babies. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with you here is like the rest of the world sees a shadow as like the dragon, but you're like Daenerys. You see the shadow as like this aspect of the self that needs to be loved and mothered and nurtured. And you don't see the bad parts of it. You don't see the darkness of it as evil or a bad or a negative thing. You see it as like, this is me. I'm going to accept it. And I'm going to put as much love into it as the other parts of myself that I am more willing to accept. So that's just what's coming through here. I think that's why that sort of mother kind of metaphor came to me earlier. So yeah, you really nurture and nourish the shadow. And if you don't, you have an amazing gift and ability to do so. If you want to tap into that, you know how some people are gifted at working with animals and it's like they can understand them and their language and their behavior. It's like they've broken down the walls of communication, these barriers of communication that keeps us from understanding a different species. People may call people that work with animals like an animal whisperer. It's like you can understand them, you get them, you know what's going on. That is you with the shadow. You understand the shadow differently than most people. You can interpret the shadow. You can understand the shadow differently than most people. You may also be very, very drawn to psychology and studying the mind as well. So yeah, I'm really seeing how your stone is coming through very strongly because I'm picking up all this like air, mind, energy. Yeah, okay, so let's go ahead and look at how as well you may weaken your gifts with different behaviors and things like that, or patterns and practices. And so we have here the Three of Swords. With the Three of Swords here, pile 2, staying stuck in pain, trauma, misery is what weakens your gifts. Because like I said, you have an uncanny gift in recognizing and hearing the shadow. You can interpret the language of the unconscious. But when you experience pain, mental distress of your own, and you hold on to it, you disrupt your own relationship to the shadow, as well as grieving and emotional pain. If you have categorized these sensations as weaknesses, that's when you really hurt your abilities. Pain for my pile 2s is a tool for you in a sense. Not that you need pain in life, but life is going to happen either which way. Painful experiences will occur either which way. That's a part of why we are here, to experience life in its totality. And that's why me personally, I've never really believed in cursing and hexing. I've always kind of considered it myself as coincidental magic, because it's like you don't have to send bad energy anyone's way. It's a part of life to experience loss, pain, discomfort, uncertainty, doubt, disappointment, So I see pain for you as a tool because you know how to transmute it or to channel it into a resource of energy for you. I see you converting these emotions into fuel in a sense and using it to unlock a deeper understanding of emotions, of the shadow and of trauma and of the unconscious, kind of like Carl Jung, for instance. In order for him to have uncovered so much about the shadow and unconscious work and behaviors and properties, he obviously had to actually live it and go through it and experience it. But that's what made him such a great psychoanalyst. And oh yeah, I did pick up you being drawn to psychology. So when you miscategorize your own pain and disappointments, your own sort of mental behaviors or patterns as unfortunate events, you really miss out on the opportunity to grow, learn, and evolve with your shadow. Let's go ahead and look into how it is that you strengthen your gifts. And so we have here the Four of Cups in reverse. Yeah, you guys see this? Four of Cups in reverse. This is wild. And then we have the Ace of Swords also in reverse again. So yeah, there's a lot of psychology, psychological analyzing. Four of Cups in reverse is just, it's almost creeping me out in a sense. And the Ace of Swords in reverse, I still get creeped out by tarot, the fact that it can be so spot on. But yeah, you strengthen your gifts pile 2 by not holding on to these heavier or dense emotions like Four of Cups talks about. Four of Cups upright, we see somebody that is unwilling to move on from what it is that they're feeling. They just kind of want to sit there and harp on it. They just kind of want to sit there and sort of compound this energy or this emotion that they're feeling. So in reverse, you definitely strengthen your gifts by not holding on to these dense emotions, but by allowing your being to process these darker feelings so you can really understand it. This is what will strengthen your ability to discern the shadow on yourself and in others, As well as too, what I'm picking up here is you guys may be drawn to just darker things in general. And it's not because it's evil. It's not because it's evil. You guys are not drawn to evil. You guys are drawn to the darker things in life that people don't want to admit. You guys are drawn to the taboo things. You guys are drawn to the things that make others squirm or make others disgusted or make others scared or make others intimidated. You guys are drawn to these things, but somebody has to be drawn to these things. Like how I was talking about with Carl Jung, somebody had to be brave enough to ask the tough questions and to do the gritty work that most of us try to ignore and try to act like isn't happening or isn't going on. This is weird. Okay, some of you guys also as well may have a future in politics in some way, shape, or form. That just came through. Don't ask me why. I didn't get an explanation. I just literally heard the word politics. I don't know where that came from, but you may have a future in politics. You may be drawn to politics, but there's definitely a darker energy here that you're drawn to. And like I said, it has nothing to do with evil. It has everything to do with being drawn to the sides of life that people try to keep veiled. You like unveiling things and looking in there because it doesn't freak you out as much. So yeah, you may have a little bit of hesitation. You may have a little bit of reluctance to share these things with other people because other people may have kind of like stopped talking to you or stopped hanging out with you because they thought that like you're just too dark or you're just too heavy of an energy. But it's like, for you, it's just like that. This is real life, so it's like I'm definitely picking up Scorpio, Capricorn energy hard with you guys, as well as all the air signs. But yeah, for sure, you guys may have sort of learned how to hide certain things away. And so that may be why you guys are really interested in studying how people sort of have these like double lives, or how people sort of have these different aspects of themselves that they are unwilling to accept. And you guys have been through a lot too, a lot of traumatic experience, like dark experiences. Some of you have been through some really dark experiences. Ace of Swords as well. Don't be afraid to marry your spiritual knowledge to your logical knowledge, to your scientific knowledge. Many of my pile twos, your spiritual gift is very tied into learning, studying, education. Whether you are in school or not, reading books, researching information, these practices will seriously strengthen your gift and your spiritual abilities. And I know in spirituality, it seems like we sort of separate intellect from intuition, but I've never believed in that because we are human. I've always said to access the highest level of the spirit and of the self, we have to first go through the body because we are human. We're also human. Yes, we are spiritual, but we are also human. And so using the mind, the heart, the emotions to dig into and to access deeper levels of the spirit will seriously strengthen your gifts, pile two. And I believe that many of my pile twos, you guys already know that. You already know how to work with the body in order to access different parts of the mind and of the being. Let's go ahead and check out you guys' oracle cards, because I could keep going with your cards all day. It's so interesting diving into this. It's just, oh my God, it's so interesting. Okay, so the cards that we have here, let's see if there's any sort of additional messages, gifts that I may have missed out on. So we have here financial discipline, first card coming through. Then we have here moderation. I'm getting a lot with these two cards already right here. Financial discipline. It doesn't just feel like discipline within finances. It feels like discipline within other areas of the life as well. Because like I said, you guys really dive in deep into people's psyche, people's unconscious psyche. So you guys dive into a lot of people's lack of control and people's lack of discipline. Because a lot of our shadow has to do with the lack of discipline that we have, where it's like, that's why we try to keep the shadow caged, because it feels so uncontained. And so the next card that we have here is Aura Observation. You guys see these cards? Do you see these? Then we have Grand Trine Blessings. Okay. Black Cat. You guys see this? Fortune meets opportunity. Wow. Let me put that over here. And then we have 7th house partners. This is wild how much your oracle cards are in tune with this reading. I was kind of hoping there was going to be some other gifts that we could pick up on here, but I am going to shuffle a couple more cards over here. With the black cat here, let's just start off with the black cat because that is really blowing my mind here. But black cats in spirituality and in symbolism has been used to represent the shadow pile too. And then we have the aura observation card over here. You are able to see beyond what people want you to see, pile two. And black cat as well has a lot to do with like superstition, being very superstitious. So this is those fears that I was talking about. You dive right into those fears, those things that people stay away from or are scared of. You're very drawn to them. And so you can see so much more than the surface with this aura observation and black cat card right here, as well as this black cat card says fortune meets opportunity, and we have grand trine blessings right here. But yeah, this is again you transmuting or transforming situations so that it benefits you. Again, like I was talking about with the different circumstances that life sort of throws at us, these experiences are a tool for you that gives fuel for you. Pain is like fuel for you. You know, that's what I was kind of talking about earlier. And then seventh house partners is talking about reflection. Seventh house rules the other. I don't know if you guys saw the video that I posted right before this, but I did talk a little bit about seventh house because we just had this full moon in Aries, and meaning that the sun was in the opposing sign, the opposing energy of Libra. And so I did speak a little bit on Libra and seventh house energy and how it rules the other. And so when we're dealing with seventh house partners, this is talking about reflection. So you may trigger people a lot without trying to, pile two. This is because you are a mirror reflection to people. And what ends up happening is you reflect back to them who and what they are. So people that are trying to run away from their shadow, interacting with you, being in your presence, being in your field, being in your auric field. You see how far this aura expands outside of this person's body? They say that it expands at least 6 to 7 feet outside of our body, our auric field. You guys also may have picked a different pile as well, where I talked a lot about the aura. People that are trying to run away from their shadow, people that are trying to run away from aspects of themselves, parts of themselves that they don't want to acknowledge or claim or engage with. You hold up a mirror to them and all they can see are the parts of themselves that they don't like. And this may be why people have a very visceral reaction to you. This is because, like I said, you are a mirror reflection. So people may have always had some sort of strong reaction to your presence, where it's like people don't give you much opportunity to present yourself before they start passing judgment on you and decide who they think you are. And they're almost always wrong. Moderation and financial discipline are kind of touching on the same thing. It's all about self-control, not where you are suffocating your desires, but you know how to healthily explore them, where you know how to incorporate the things that you truly want into different parts of your life. So you know how to manage the wants and the desires of the lower self, because money is very 3D and money is not a bad thing. A lot of people try to say that money is a surface level, superficial bad thing, but it's not. And I'm pretty sure many of my pile twos already know that. So it's a matter of not being controlled by these desires, as well as it's a matter of not allowing society to deem what is good and what is bad, what is negative, what is positive. You are sort of kind of like reshaping and redefining what is actually bad, what is actually negative, and what is actually positive. You're kind of opening up people to see deeper beyond what they have already sort of labeled and categorized as a bad thing. So you're really sort of expanding people's minds here, pile two. That's just like a kind of like a life purpose thing here that I'm picking up. And I'm actually going to be shuffling from this life purpose oracle card deck here just to see if there is any additional messages, any additional messages or things that you should be doing with your time. And so we have here, author, you have a book inside of you that wishes to be expressed. Make the time to write it. Yes, like I said, very many of you guys have been through so many things, like very traumatic things, very dark things. And you know a lot. You know a lot about the shadow. And like I said, you guys are meant to redefine and reshape how people look at life and how people look at what they consider negative. Let's see what else we have in my pile twos. We have teaching. You guys see this? You guys are really shaping and redefining what it is that people consider to be bad versus good. You inspire young people to learn is what it says here. Let's get a few more. We also have study. What did I tell you guys? What did I tell you guys a few minutes ago? I think when we were just looking at your tarot cards, that you guys are meant to study. You guys are meant to research, education, study, research. These are the things that really strengthen your spiritual gifts. And we have the study card that popped out. Reading, research, and education help you gain confidence and clarity about your career. Let's get a couple more. Writing. Again, with the author. You heal, inspire, teach, and entertain with the words that you write. Let's get one more. Oh my God, I just looked at my viewfinder and this black cat card looks so sick. It looks amazing. Okay, and then we have support. Your life purpose fully supports you. Pile 2, this is something that you need to know, is that your life purpose supports you, and what it is that you're drawn to is your life's purpose. You may have thought, like, I can't make money off of this. I can't support myself through this. Look at that. Let go. Walk away from this situation in order to resolve it. Let go of that feeling that I can't make money off of this. I can't support myself through this. I can't take care of my responsibilities with what it is that I'm drawn to, with what it is that speaks to me. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So I feel like that was a very personal message that was meant for some of you to see. So yes, so this is all that I'm seeing for my pile 2s. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I pray this reading brought you guys love, support, clarity, and strength. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. And until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, and pile number 3, welcome to your reading. So you guys chose the Smoky Quartz cluster. I'm obsessed with this piece. It's brand new, and when I saw it I was like, take all my money, I don't care. But yeah, I love smoky quartz. But smoky quartz is a very, very, very good stone when it comes to purifying the being, the aura. It's really good at basically like neutralizing energy. So if there's like negative energy kind of resisting, or you know, if your frequency is trying to calibrate to a lower vibrational frequency, then smoky quartz really helps to sort of neutralize that. And so it's very purifying, and it really helps to also detoxify the emotional and the spiritual being, as well as the mind. And it also helps with the digestive system, since smoky quartz is connected to the solar plexus chakra. And so it'll really help to get rid of fear. It helps to lift negativity. That the way you can feel more calm, you can have more confidence, more assurance within the self, and you can kind of move along feeling lighter versus carrying around all of that heavy, dense energy. Okay, so I'm pretty sure in some way, shape, or form, this crystal is tied into your spiritual gifts if you were drawn to it. So the other crystals have been spot on with the readings. All right, in pile number 3, we're going to be starting off with your tarot cards before getting to your oracle cards to determine what your strongest spiritual gift is. So these 2 cards all the way over here to the left will be showing me what your strongest gift or gifts are. This card to the right of them will be showing me how you weaken your gifts with different practices, routines, things like that. And this card all the way over here to the right will be showing me how you strengthen your spiritual gifts. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The very first card that we have here is the 3 of Cups in reverse. Okay. Then we have the Star also in reverse. All right. You really know how to work a crowd, pile 3. You know how to work people, as well as you have this star quality about you that makes you stand out a lot. 3 of Cups is the card of community, clanship, and equality, because each of the women in this card has brought their own cup to the mix. And because of that, there's this abundant overflow of energy, because no one is empty-handed. And so, you know, this card, 3 of Cups, is also ruled by the Empress. So of course we're dealing with abundance here. We're dealing with just an overflow of jubilation, celebration, life, you know? And so there's a lot to celebrate in the 3 of Cups. With it being in reverse though, because it is in reverse in your reading, this tells me that you don't care to look equal in other people's eyes. You don't put much thought into what you look like to the world or to other people. There's this very defiant, rebellious energy here where it's like, I'm good standing alone on my own. I can have a party and tap into this abundance by my damn self, whether I run into other people with a cup of their own or not. And the Star card is the card of hope, faith, standing back up, and resilience is also in reverse for your reading. So you have an ability to sort of set the tone, the mood, or even a trend because you are so good standing alone. It doesn't bother you to be in a crowd or to be alone. You are good either which way. It also doesn't bother you as well because the Star can also rule trends because it is ruled by Aquarius. I've always seen it and I've always described Aquarius as a trendsetter. And so basically, this also tells me as well that you are not the type of person that goes along with the trend. Sometimes you're actually turned off by things because so many people are doing it. So you really do kind of like to stand in your own exclusivity. You kind of really like to stand on your own when it comes to certain things. There's an innate confidence here that's really opened the doors for you to explore your own way. And okay, so I just felt something that I normally never feel during readings. I'm not sure if some of you have experienced astral projection or out-of-body experiences, but I just felt my astral body for a moment. Normally, I'm not relaxed enough during readings to feel that because I'm like, if I'm relaxed enough to kind of start to feel astral projection, I'm pretty out of it. I'm pretty much not here, honestly. So that was interesting. Yeah, one of your gifts, pile 3 as well. We're just going to move right past that. I don't know if this is something normal for you guys. We're just going to move right past that. One of your gifts as well, pile 3, is to entertain or perform or create things for big groups of people to feel more confident and more like themselves, to help them deviate from their own communities and groups, so they can find who they are, because you are very gifted at being able to enterprise that. Your gift is at helping others discover who they are and to lead them towards their tribe or their purpose. It's like I see you sort of scooping up all these souls that are just existing. Like they're in their respective homes, communities, spaces, jobs, families, whatever, wherever, but they have this sneaking suspicion that that's not where they're supposed to be, that that's not where they belong. Your strongest gift, pile 3, is the ability to speak an uncommon language where people that don't feel understood or heard or seen finally feel connected to something through you. You are a channel. You're like this portal that people connect to in order to feel at home. So this could be through your work, whatever that may be. Many of you create things and others of you just have a poignant or strong presence, and your job is to just be you so others feel comfortable enough to just be themselves as well. Another one of your gifts, pile 3, is being able to see what is meant for you and what is not. Again, there's this theme of home coming in where you know what opportunities, people, relationships, projects, and destinations are meant for you. You don't get thrown off by something just because everyone else is doing it. You don't try something just because everyone else is trying it. You know what is meant for you and what isn't. You're kind of like one of those people where it's like, you're not going to, walk into like a store like Forever 21 or something and just pick up an outfit just because everybody is dressing like that. You're just like, no, that doesn't compliment me. That doesn't compliment my body. You are all about complementing your being with things that fit you, with things that align for you, with things that work for you, with things that are outfitted for you. It's all about for you just being like, that doesn't compliment me. That doesn't work for me. That's not for me. You're very, very good at being able to spot that when it comes to material things, superficial things like clothes, all the way to, maybe like even going to college or school or a certain career or, something like that, field of study. So if something doesn't feel right for you, it's just that simple for you. You just don't engage it. So you're really good at wielding your own power through your free will. You're like a storyteller as well. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. You're like a storyteller. You are completely in control of your own narrative, and everyone loves a story that they can relate to. So you have this beautiful ability at telling a story through your work, whatever that may be. And a lot of people think that in order for them to go on this spiritual journey or to be committed to their spiritual journey, a lot of people feel that their field, that their work needs to be something in a spiritual field. But this is a thing. Spirituality doesn't just exist in one part of the world or in one part of our lives. Everything is spiritual because everything is energy. So you can be a hairdresser, and that is you fulfilling your purpose and your spiritual fate and your destiny. You could be a doctor, a medical professional. You could be a mechanic. You could be somebody that builds computers. You could be somebody that loves art. You could be someone that loves to cook. You could be someone that creates content. You know, whatever it is that your field is, don't hesitate, or not hesitate, but don't think for a second that just because you're not flipping cards or reading astrology, don't think for a second that just because you're not flipping cards or reading astrology that you are not fulfilling your spiritual purpose. You could be a makeup artist. You could be whatever it is. You could be in politics, whatever it is. You are fulfilling your spiritual purpose by doing what aligns with you. But pile 3, you already know that. You already know, like I said, what aligns with you, what is meant for you, and what is not. So don't think that, you know, in order for me to fulfill my spiritual destiny and purpose, I have to be all about this. No, you don't. You have to be all about you in order for you to fulfill your spiritual purpose and your spiritual destiny. That's what you came here to do. You were born, you came here to be you. Whatever that looks like. I'm not sure how, but rehabilitation, I just heard the word that just came through for my pile 3s as well. So you guys may somehow be involved in that, getting involved in that in the future, something like that. Okay, let's go ahead and check out exactly how you weaken your gifts. And so we have here the 10 of Swords. Beautiful card too. Okay, so what weakens your gifts, pile 3, is listening to other people that tell you no, or that you cannot do something, or that it won't work for you, or that you won't be successful, or that you are dreaming too big, you're reaching too high, you're being too illogical. You're meant to reach a lot of people. Whether this is locally or globally, you are meant to inspire others to break through their own glass ceilings. So if you are struggling to surpass your own because of what others have told you is possible, then it weakens your abilities in a sense. But it's also here at the same time, I'm picking up, to strengthen you. So when you kind of fall into those moments of doubt because you're just like, man, nobody gets my ideas, nobody gets what I want to do, everyone's telling me that like this is impossible, that resistance, those challenges, those doubts that people put onto you are actually, in a sense, it's kind of like, again, it's another channel where it can either weaken you or strengthen you. So this is the first pile that I'm picking this up with here. But yeah, for sure, other people's doubts, it's like it puts a flat in one of your tires and you just aren't as concentrated because you're struggling with the doubt that you inherited from somewhere else. And there's a lot of Uranus, Aquarian, Cancer energy here. Forward thinker, innovative energy. You're supposed to liberate others, not to be suffocated or pressed by others. That cripples your gifts, pile 3. Don't let anyone stereotype you into submission. Let them think whatever they think, but don't you fall into their definition of who they think you are. Very important for you to feel free and not so caged by other people's ideas of who and what you can be and who and what you can accomplish. Because there's so much that you can accomplish, but you may be around people that are just, they don't believe in the impossible. They don't believe that they are capable of making the impossible possible. And because of that, you're dealing with this extra added pressure and weight that was never yours to begin with. So be very careful of that, because that can definitely weaken your gifts, just being around these kind of like pessimistic people in a way. It's pessimism. Pessimism is what weakens your gifts, pile 3, I'm sorry. Pessimism is what weakens your gifts for sure. Let's see what strengthens it. We have here the 5 of Wands. You guys see that? So fight for what you believe in, pile 3. Many of you may have been as a child reprimanded or scolded for what you liked or what spoke to you or for how you thought, because you need full disclosure. You need freedom and to be you. Someone trying to censor you just makes you push back even harder, or it makes you resist even harder. That's what strengthens your gifts, pile 3, is you fighting for your own freedom and autonomy, to be an independent thinker and a free mind. You have a lot of prerogatives that mean something to you, and you're going to be asked to defend them. But that's what strengthens your abilities and your purpose, is you fighting for full individualism and personal expression. So don't be afraid to have to fight for what you believe in, because you're going to be asked quite a bit to stand beside what you believe in and to go against the grain, to swim against the current, you know? Are there any other sort of like trailblazing metaphors that we can think of? Because it's basically you're just a trailblazer. And when you're a trailblazer, you have to be the one to sort of blaze that trail, to ignite that path, to carve that path out of a road less traveled. And so, yeah, of course, there's going to be a lot of bumps along the way. There's going to be a lot of bumps in the road, but it's all about you staying just as motivated and just as determined as before. That's what's really going to strengthen your gifts, is your resilience, which you already have a lot of with the star card right here. So let's check out your oracle cards, see any additional messages or gifts that I may have missed out on. So we have here jack-o'-lantern protection. Okay. Then we have skull of flowers, creating through the ashes, a lot like the star card. It's a lot like the star card. Then we have ornithomancy, omen. Wheel of fortune, fate. Yep. Uranus, genius. You guys, what was I saying? Didn't I say that I was picking up some Uranus, Aquarius energy? Just very innovative, free-thinking sort of energy. And there it is. And then we have here Mercury retrograde, reinvention. Final two cards that we have here is self-discipline. Okay. And nature. Ornithomancy, starting off with this one, omen, you can sense changes in the horizon as well, pile 3. Big changes coming in your life, especially with this Wheel of Fortune fate card over here. You know, you can feel that wheel shifting and moving from one degree to the next, and you might not know in detail what's about to happen, but like how animals can sense a storm coming or food that's nearby, you can also sense the things that you need to avoid, as well as wait, hold on. Didn't I say earlier that you can sense what's meant for you and what isn't? Yeah. Okay. So I think that was this pile that I said that for. If so, then yeah, that's exactly what this is. You're very good at determining in which direction you need to move so you don't get turned upside down by the shifting of the wheel. That the way you're not caught in the storm, and that the way you're not going in the opposite direction of the food that you're sensing, of the things, the resources that you need, you know? So it's like how I was talking about earlier with like birds that can sense a storm and they can also sense food, or animals that can sense a storm and they can also sense food nearby. You're like that. You can sense the things that you need to avoid as well as the things that you need to go towards. And so it's like you have a very strong GPS in you that's kind of directing you. So yeah, you know, this is so you can also maintain a sense of personal control and, again, freedom, autonomy, independence. In order for us to be free and independent, we have to have a sense of control. We have to have a sense of personal authority. So that's also what this protection card is alluding to here. But as well as you have a close connection to an energy, deity, God, goddess, whatever you consider it, you have a close connection to a creator and destroyer, God or goddess, like Odin or Kali Ma or Perseus or Sekhmet. These energies are set. You know, these energies that direct rage and force are protectors of you. And this is why you are such a firecracker. People may describe you as like, oh, they're intense, they're intimidating, you're a firecracker. People may describe you or look at you as that because you speak your mind and are not afraid of a fight for a good cause. That's what I'm picking up with the Skull of Flowers card and the Uranus Genius. Told you guys I was picking up huge Uranus Aquarius vibes, and Uranus also rules Aquarius, which also rules the star card. But this is that mind of yours that's always thinking outside the box, that wants to do differently from everyone else. There's a part of you also reinventing itself, reintroducing ways for people to see the world around them with this Mercury retrograde card right here. You guys, I'm so sorry my camera cut off, but yeah, same cards. Now, Mercury rules the mind, so you have a lot of air energy, sort of mind energy. Nature here wants you to ground It wants you to ground more so that the way you can have more control, self-discipline over here, over these abilities versus them sort of running you. That the way you can have more sort of a sense of authority when it comes to your mind going to all these crazy places and dreaming up all these ideas. It's very important for my pile threes to remain grounded because you're very much so in your head a lot. Okay, so yeah, let me go on ahead and just shuffle a couple of life purpose cards here just to see if there's any sort of life purpose cards that want to come out, any sort of direction that we can get in terms of your life's purpose, your career, anything like that. Any additional messages? Let's see. Okay, so the very first one that we have is support. Your life purpose fully supports you. And then we have counseling. You heal with kind words, wise advice, and an empathetic ear. You guys, I'm freaking the hell out. Didn't I mention earlier that I heard rehab and therapy with your, when I was looking at your, I think 3 of Cups and the Star card in reverse, I picked up on therapy and rehabilitation. And we have the counseling card that came out. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we're getting. We have light and love. Your purpose is to bring divine healing, light, and love to the world. Yeah. Let's see what else we have. Then we have books. You connect to your life purpose through your involvement with books. Okay. Let's get one more. Justice. Look at that. Your career brings fairness and protection to others who need your help. You guys, what was I talking about earlier? And we also have the protection card, jack-o'-lantern protection card right here. But what was I talking about earlier? You guys have some sort of destroyer, creator, destroyer, god, goddess. Anyways, yeah. So you guys, like I was talking about with this justice card right here, that you have this destroyer, creator, god, goddess, energy, deity around you. And that's where you get that. It's like this energy is all about destroying and creating and rage and it's this very dual sort of energy here. But that is why you are so committed to like, no, this is for a good cause. That's what I was talking about earlier. And we have the justice card right here. So yeah, and it's talking about protection. And then we have jack-o'-lantern protection. And then underneath the deck, we have creative expression. Your soul longs to express itself creatively. Like I was talking about with the Uranus and the Aquarius energy that I was picking up. You guys are trailblazers. You guys just come up with these really crazy ideas that the world just hasn't really seen yet. And so, yeah, that's that creative expression that wants to come out through you. So definitely, for sure, with this 10 of Swords, do not listen to people that don't get you. Sometimes as well, for my pile threes, move in silence. Don't tell people nothing until it's like let's just say that you want to create a business. Don't tell people that you are interested in creating a business until that business is up and running, because people are not going to get it. And people they're so limited that they can't get you, pile three. People cannot get you until you give them something physical to see. Okay, so yeah, was a really incredible reading. I loved you guys' reading, but this is all that I'm seeing for my pile threes. I pray this reading brought you guys love, support, clarity, and strength. Let me take this time to thank your guides and my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon, but until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, in pile 4, you guys chose the labradorite crystal. Such a beautiful stone. Labradorite definitely is with these like hues of kind of like blue in there. Is definitely connected to the throat chakra. So opening up lines of communication and contact. But labradorite is also a stone of transformation. It's also connected to sun and moon energy. So this is the energy of the ego, as well as the energy of intuition and the internal self. It also helps to bring success and changes, transformation, like I was talking about. So this is a really good stone if you are going through some sort of major transition or a change in your life, maybe a little bit of a change you're kind of stressed out about or a little bit worried about. Labradorite brings a lot of protection around that. It also brings strength, resilience, perseverance, and also protects the aura. Very, very powerful at protecting the aura and raising consciousness while also grounding us into our own reality. So very, very spiritual stone. Very good as well for your intuition and bringing on your psychic abilities and strengthening your psychic abilities. So also as well, if you are experiencing any sort of psychic attacks, this stone is just like, you don't want to play with labradorite. Very, very powerful stone. So pretty sure in some way, shape, or form, the stone has something to do with your spiritual gifts. Okay, so pile 4, we're going to be starting off the tarot cards before getting to the oracle cards to determine what your strongest spiritual gift is. I'm also going to be looking into some other spiritual gifts, so don't worry, I'm going to be touching on as many spiritual gifts as I can receive from this message today. So the first 2 cards right here will be showing me your strongest spiritual gift or gifts. This card right here to the right of those cards will be showing me how it is that you weaken your spiritual gifts. And then this card all the way over here to the right will be showing me different things that it is that you do in your routine and your practices that actually help to strengthen your spiritual gifts. Okay, so let's go on ahead and get started. You guys, I'm so sorry for the noise. It has just been ridiculous. It's like something does not want me to come out with these messages today, or something is just trying to interfere every step of the way. It's been wild. Okay, so I'm so sorry, you guys. Somebody knocked on my door. Like I said, there's just been so many interruptions today and distractions. But yeah, making sure that these are centered now. Okay, so let's start off with the very first 2 cards. The very first ones that we have here is the 8 of Swords. Very pretty card. And then we have here the 4 of Swords in reverse. Okay. There's been so much air energy in this reading today. In all the piles, there's been a lot of air energy. We are in Libra season, but yeah. Okay, so right away, there's a strong indication here of spirit communication because we have 2 Swords cards here. And Swords is the card of the mind, or Swords is a suit of the mind, intellect, communication, learning, perspective. So one thing that's coming through really strongly is you have a unique way of understanding and downloading messages. You have a way of relating messages, so it makes sense to people not as well versed in spirituality or maybe the occult or certain philosophical ideas. Another thing that I'm noticing here in both of these cards are her eyes are closed. And I want to say to you, you have very strong clairvoyant abilities. You may daydream a lot, as well as your dreams may be very, very vivid. There's a lot of communication that happens in your dreams too. You may have spoken to people that have passed on through your dreams. And this isn't just people that you know. I mean, even like celebrities, well-known people that have passed, well-known people that have passed on may visit you in your dreams. You may have the gift as well of being able to understand or interpret dreams. I'm also getting a lot of full body pressure. So sleep paralysis may have happened to you at some point. I feel like this is my pile that has mediumship capabilities. Another thing that I'm picking up here is some of you may have even seen deities. You guys may actually see deities. So you may actually, let's just say that Aphrodite came to you one time. You may actually see her presence, her energy. Let's say like Asar, otherwise known as Osiris, came to you one time. You may actually see the green skin or the blue skin, or you may actually see different types of beings as well. So maybe they're like part human, part something else. I'm picking up a lot of very strong visual strength and abilities here. This is definitely, like I was saying, my pile that has mediumship capabilities, corner visions, shadow figures out of the corner of your eye. This is very normal for many of my pile 4s. One of your biggest gifts though, pile 4, is this ability to help others as well as yourself out of situations that feel heavy, stagnant, even depressive. Something about your aura or presence that makes people feel lighter. People may have said to you before, like, damn, I was having a bad day until I came across you, or until I spoke to you or hung out with you. I just heard as well, cut soul ties. So pile 4, you're also very gifted with dealing with the past life regression, healing generational karma, fulfilling soul contracts, the Akashic records you guys may have accessed. You know what this feels like? This feels like my pile of priests and priestesses that help others out of spiritual dilemmas. That's what this is. Okay. So it's kind of like people come to you maybe to get like a love spell done, or maybe they need some sort of holistic healing or Reiki or energy healing, or maybe they want to manifest money, or to lift a curse or something like that. I'm getting so many specific details with your pile. So this Eight of Swords is very talkative as well. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm picking up on everything that this Eight of Swords is saying, because it's mostly coming from this Eight of Swords here. But there's this visual or energy that I'm getting where you help lift people out of one place and put them in another place in terms of their energy or frequency. It's like I see removing gray clouds that's been following people around for a very long time. This is heavy work, pile 4. Heavy work. I guess you could say healer, but healer just feels too broad and too vague of a label to mention in this particular reading today. So I've been staying away from the healer kind of, because healer is like, well, what kind of healer? There's so many different kinds. It's like being in the medical industry. It's like there's so many different fields, right? As well as too, there's something here about you guys also healing masculine and feminine energies. You guys could also be into something like couples counseling, couple therapy. What is that called when people go to like a counselor or something, like right before they get married? It's like premarital counseling, something like that. It's like you guys help really bring together these masculine, feminine energies. You guys may also be into tantric practices, which is not just about sexual things. But you guys may definitely help heal sexual intimacy, people that have been sexually assaulted, sexually traumatized. You guys may be very drawn to that type of healing work as well. You may have also experienced something like that. Sorry, trigger alert. I should have definitely said trigger alert. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, there's so much coming through. Working with children may be a thing. Oh yeah, Labrador. We have Labradorite right here. Oh my God, Labradorite, it brings together the energies of the sun and the moon. Okay. Yeah, so this is just confirmation then. You guys may be definitely into like Tantra. Yoga is coming through as well. Yoga, something with like stretching the body, moving energy around in the body. Very hands-on, it feels like it could be as well too. But it seems like your clients have like a very close personal relationship with you, where it's like they have like your personal numbers. Sometimes they may call you in the middle of the night, or this may be something that you end up doing in the future, where it's like people are calling you in the middle of the night because they just got in an argument, or they want to relapse, or, they want to go out and do this, or they need advice to get through that, or, it's just, there's so much coming through with your pile. Honestly, with every pile has been like this. Yeah, let's go on ahead and move on to see what actually weakens your abilities. And so we have here 3 of Wands in reverse. Okay. All right, pile 4. So 3 of Wands in reverse. Your reluctance is what weakens your gift, pile 4. Some of you may be scared of this type of work or this gift. You may feel as though it's too dark or too real. It may be triggering for you as well, because some of you may have been through some of the things that your purpose or that your gift has to deal with. And so you may not want to work with people that are going through similar things that you've been through, because it's triggering to you. It brings up a lot of old traumas. It brings up a lot of old pains. It brings up a lot of old experiences and memories. So that may be another reason why you're sort of like detesting this gift, or you just want nothing to do with it. And another thing as well is it's like, you may be afraid of how real this gift is. You may feel as though like, this isn't just in my mind, this isn't just my imagination, but this is real, because the 3 of Wands is a card of action, because he has this vision. I have this vision or idea and I want to make it happen. The Suit of Wands is all about being a visionary. So in reverse, the 3 of Wands is relying more on imagination than action. So what weakens your gifts, pile 3, is not believing in them and being afraid of embarking on these gifts, being afraid of utilizing them, as well as protection rituals, protection spells, prayers is going to be important for you, because everyone has spiritual gifts. Everyone has the ability to sort of open the door and see beyond the veil. Now, some of us are born with that door already open, where we can already see beyond the veil and explore other dimensions. Others of us wasn't necessarily given that choice or that chance to choose what we wanted to be able to see and not see. So, many of my pile 4s, you were born with your third eye already activated and open, because there's some strong clairvoyant abilities here, as well as not acting on the messages and signs that that you receive. You notice them. Like I said, your door is already open, so you're aware of the messages that you get, but sometimes you don't act on them. So that also weakens your gifts a bit because you second guess yourself in the messages that you receive. And so you may also second guess the directions, the instructions that you receive from spirit, from your higher self. Okay, let's move on and see what actually strengthens your gifts. And so we have here temperance. I love this temperance card. Temperance. Your environment is what strengthens your gifts, pile 4. And I know that sounds odd because temperance doesn't necessarily talk much about our surroundings. I know temperance doesn't talk much about our surroundings, but it's coming through so strongly in this pile here. So your environment has a lot to do with the potency of your gifts. If you're around people that don't really understand your abilities, or around people that don't believe in these sort of things, or are even jealous of your gifts, then you are not as active when it comes to exercising your abilities if you're around people like this. But I see that when you are alone is when you feel comfortable enough to watch pick a card readings and watch or read about things that you may consider weird, or other people around you may consider weird. It's when you feel safe enough to dive into the study of who you are, is what helps you, as well as you diving into who you are. Many of you always wondered who you are, why you were here, and what the point was. You learning about your soul, the makeup of your soul, the frequency of your soul is going to accelerate how quickly you get accustomed to your gifts. It's also going to teach you how to use your gifts, because what I'm picking up with my pile 4s is very many of you are like, I'm aware I have these gifts, I don't really like them, but I also don't understand how to use them. I also don't understand how to wield them. So that will kind of direct you as to how to use your gifts. It'll kind of give you instructions as to how to use them. And once you get comfortable enough in your own skin, I also see you being this like spiritual teacher. Like I said, yeah, this is my pile for my priests and priestesses. I all the time forget what it is that I say during these readings because I'm channeling, but yeah, so that may also be why too I talk fast, is to try to get these messages out before I forget them. But yeah, I definitely see you guys, once you get comfortable enough with your own gifts, you also becoming a teacher that kind of instructs others or teaches others how to use their own gifts, how to kind of get accustomed to them, get comfortable with them. So yeah, let's go ahead and check out you guys' oracle cards here. See what additional messages, additional gifts it is that I may have missed out on. So we have here, Scorpio, I transform. Yeah. I'm picking up a lot of Pisces energy here, though. I should have mentioned that. I'm picking up a lot of Pisces energy, Taurus energy, Cancer energy, Virgo energy. Oh my God, strong Virgo energy all day. Libra energy as well. Yeah, but we have Scorpio here, so could be some Scorpio energy happening in your chart. And then we have here forgiveness, reducing burden. Wow. Spider, community and web weaving. Really interesting, because like I said, I was picking up on sun and moon energy. And then we have these kind of this is interesting. I'll get to this in a second. Let's see. Let's get your other cards out of the way. Then we have here arrow, focus. Yeah, yours was the pile that had all these extra cards jump out too. All these extra oracle cards jump out. Then we have book, knowledge. Pendulum, decision. Some of you guys too, this is coming through right now. Some of you guys too, it's going to be really helpful for you to get a mentor or a priest, a priestess, a mambo, babalao, whatever it is that you call them, where you are from, whatever it is that you practice. Maybe like some sort of, if you're in a witchcraft too, witchcraft keeps coming up, maybe finding a coven, finding somebody that's very well versed in what it is that they do, that can kind of show you the ropes, teach you the ways, because that's really going to help with my pile 4s. And then we have here, void of course, moon, missing. Okay. And the final card that we have is compassion. Scorpio, I transform, and void of course, moon, missing even are bringing heavy vibes of mediumship all day. Like I was talking about earlier, void of course moon missing sounds like lost souls to me that need help crossing over, or they come to you to give you a message or to ask for help, as well as it even sounds like lost living souls that are here that need direction. They need to understand how to work with their gifts. They need to understand how to acknowledge their gifts, how to wield them, how to use them. One of the examples that I used to use all the time was that here in life, it's kind of like, you know how like when dogs are puppies when they're really young, and maybe like they bite each other when they're playing, and it's like they're learning their strength, right? And so they know like not to bite too hard, because that actually truly really hurts and wounds people, versus like, oh, when I bite like this is a play bite, so they learn that very quickly, depending on how it is that other people react to them and how it is that they feel when they get bitten or something like that. So they learn very quickly. That's what I'm kind of seeing you here as somebody that helps teach others how to wield their own power. That the way they're not hurting others with their power, hurting themselves with their power. So you're really kind of here to help sort of reel in people's power and abilities. But you first have to learn how to do that with your own powers and abilities, because you have very strong abilities. Very, very powerful. You've got a lot of power within you, and you're really learning how to wield it. You're really learning how to use it, how to utilize it, so that the way you are not out here causing all types of damage. Okay, so yeah, for sure. I see you helping living souls as well. Scorpio, though, is a sign of death and transformation. So this is heavy change. Again, like I was saying, because when someone dies, it's also a major transformation that their soul undergoes. And especially people that are living, like I said, I see you here to help them transition more smoothly and to break them out of what they've been stuck in with this Eight of Swords down here. Pendulum decision, book knowledge, and even arrow focus. This is like what I was talking about when I first started your reading. You basically have a way with taking knowledge and translating it so that it's easy for others to grasp or to digest. You make these really strange, complex philosophies digestible because of the way that these things speak to you or download to you. So for example, the Bible is a very strange book that I have never believed was meant to be taken literally. I think a lot of stories in that book were to serve as metaphors, and because of that, many people have their own interpretations of it. All right, pile 4, I am so sorry. My camera battery died. I had to stop and let it charge for a couple of hours, so I am picking back up your reading. I'm not exactly sure where I left off. I think we were talking about this book knowledge and maybe the compassion card. No, I think book knowledge, arrow focus, I think maybe is what we were talking about. I do remember what I was saying about you just having a different way of presenting information. So basically, yeah, like you're one of those people that can really develop a different take on things like the Bible, sacred texts and books, things like that. As well as I mentioned earlier, like the more that you learn about you, the stronger that your gifts are going to get, you guys. And we have book knowledge, arrow focus. We also have spider community and web weaving. So a lot of this is about, in Scorpio, I transform. So like a lot of this is about you finding yourself, you figuring out who you are. Void, of course, moon missing. A lot of this is about filling in the blanks with who you are, what your gifts are, learning more about your soul and your frequency. And so, yeah, the more you learn about you, the stronger your gifts are going to get. Spider as well, community and web weaving, as well as this forgiveness card over here. Reducing burden, and compassion. Now, these are all empathic abilities that's coming through in your reading. So this is you being able to relate to others, to understand people, to give them that compassion, kindness, time, and energy that they have been missing. You feel like a father to those that didn't have one, or a mother to those that didn't have a mother figure, or a friend to those without support systems. So there's a lot of empathy that I'm picking up, very healing, nurturing energy. Like I said, for sure, this is my pile of priests and priestesses, people that are just very well versed in the spiritual community with occult information, things like, and occult just means hidden knowledge. So, a lot of hidden knowledge, really diving into these really deeply wise philosophies and things like that. You guys have a very fresh perspective and take on them that's easy for people to understand and grasp. So I'm just going to shuffle a couple of cards from this life purpose oracle deck here just to see if there is a particular purpose or path that you may be on. So let's see what we get here. Very first one that we have here is writing. You heal, inspire, teach, and entertain with the words that you write. So writing may be in your future. We also have book knowledge right here. And void, of course, moon missing. It could be talking about you filling in the blanks for some people when it comes to understanding this type of knowledge. And then we have practice. Polish your skills by practicing regularly. Yeah, like I said, the more that you get to know you, the stronger your gifts are going to become. Oh, okay. And then we have here study. Reading, research, and education help you gain confidence and clarity about your career. Okay. Just like we have the book knowledge card right here. We have builder. Your innate ability to build and create brings you a deep sense of accomplishment. Okay. Let's just get one more. Career change. You're embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance that you desire and deserve. All right. So yeah, some of you may not be in the field yet. And then we have, look, speaker. Your life purpose involves your skills of oration. Like I was saying, you guys have a way of translating information and delivering it back to people so that they really get a different understanding of it, a deeper understanding of it. So yeah, this is all that I am seeing for my pile fours. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and amazing spirit for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys.